What's up, guys? Welcome to a new episode of The Commute. Today I'm talking about that pesky little ban in Target stores for Grand Theft Auto 5. So for those who don't know, probably about 2 years ago now, there was a petition put in by a bunch of shoppers who shop at Target stores to remove Grand Theft Auto 5 from the shelves. Now, Grand Theft Auto 5 is an R-rated video game. There is violence. You can pay for sex in the game, and even though it goes through the kind of animation of the kind of sex scenes and stuff, and it does have strippers and all that sort of stuff in there, it is an R-rated video game, which means that, simply enough, you have to be over 18 to purchase it and provide ID that you're over 18 to purchase it. Now, the problem that the shoppers had was the fact that these video games were on the shelves easily enough for a child to purchase the game. But again, it's an R-rated game, so in order to purchase it, you need to provide ID that you're over 18. If you don't provide ID that you're over 18, then the shop assistant, checkout person can't legally sell it to you. So my first query, or my first issue with this is, if these kids are getting the games, the only way they can get it is if they have an older brother or sister that's over 18, a friend who's over 18, or a parent who's over 18. So these kids aren't just walking into stores and buying this video game. They have to be over a certain age. Even if you're buying a game online, your account you still need to prove that you're over 18. And if you're purchasing anything, they verify these sort of things through credit card details or something like that. As a parent, not me, I'm not a parent, but if you're a parent of a child who has an online account, you can actually restrict them from buying these sorts of games. Same thing in store. So the first question is that if the parents have that much of an issue with it, don't buy the game. Simple enough. Just because it's on the shelf doesn't mean the kid can buy it. Doesn't mean that on the artwork of the cover or in a booklet or anything like that there's any of this graphic material. No, there's not, because it's actually illegal for them to do that. So, having it on the shelf isn't necessarily going to mean that kids are going to be able to easily buy it, because, like I said, they need to provide ID, they need to be over 18. Second thing I have about this, unfortunately, I'm going to try, well, not unfortunately, but I'm going to try and not be super sexist or anything like this about this, but unfortunately, majority of the people signing the petition were stay-at-home mums. Now, that's not all of the people that were signing the petition. There were other people signing it, but when it was kind of released out of the petition, the statistics was that most of them were stay-at-home mums. Now, the problem that I have with that is that at that time, there was another kind of craze going on in the world, which was 50 Shades of Grey. Which, if you don't know what 50 Shades of Grey is, it's basically softcore porn in a book. And what that was quite popular, and it was sold in stores like Target, and it was on the shelves in stores like Target, and it wasn't didn't have any sort of R rating, didn't have any sort of classification, you didn't need any ID to purchase it, and it was on the shelf where you could just grab it and just start reading it. So the issue I had with that is that the fact that these stay-at-home mums were basically complaining about a video game where you need ID, you need to be over 18 to purchase the video game, but they didn't have a problem with the fact that 50 Shades of Grey was on the bookshelf in arm's reach of children, so if the child could read, they could basically read porn, which, okay, look, it might not be exactly the same as actually seeing it visually, but it's still just as bad. That was the second issue that I had with the whole situation. The third issue, and probably the last issue that I had with it, was the fact that nobody else seemed to care about it. It got a lot of steam and it got a lot of backing behind it for them to remove it, but Target didn't really care. The gaming community didn't really care, because most of the gaming community is old enough to be able to purchase those sort of games, and it had already been sold for over a year before this ban came in, so most people had the game already. But it became so much of an issue just based on the fact that it would set a precedent for anybody else to ban any game that they wanted, and that R-rated games can't be sold in stores like Target. And if they can't be sold in stores like Target, what's stopping them from removing them from stores like JB Hi-Fi or EB or any of the other stores in Australia? But that's kind of I'm going to kind of leave it there, but that's kind of part one of the Grand Theft Auto situation. In part two, I'm going to discuss kind of alternatives of what they should have done instead. But if you enjoy the video, make sure you click like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.